Hello, one and all, and welcome to the messages from energy for this week. Back up here in the foothills of the Pyrenees, beautiful place. Just behind you, I'll show you now. Just behind you is the Pyrenees Mountains. That's the backdrop to this forest that I'm looking out on, and I can certainly see signs of spring happening. Yes, it's a glorious day here today. It's about 18 degrees Celsius, but you can see the vibration in the trees, in the crown of the trees. Is much more. It's much more vibrant. It's like champagne. That's the best way to describe it. And then when I'm looking at the trunks, I'm just looking at the trunks now. It's a lot more. It's solid. It's got a lot more determination, and that's a good sign that the sap is starting to rise within the trees. So I'm got a funny feeling we're going to start seeing sort of buds happening and what have you. There is a few flowers and that's going on as well, and the birds as well seem to be a little bit more sort of chirpy at the moment. Wonder why. Spring is eternal, I guess. So yeah, it's got that sort of feel about it, you know, at the moment. The energy in here in the Pyrenees, very, very calm. So yes, how was the week of energy for you? I certainly had the solar plexus playing, and it had that air aspect to the solar plexus, where you get enthused about something, and it's sometimes, the passion for it can be a little bit overloaded from time to time. So it's sort of like it was a bit of spits and spurts for me personally in this week here. Tell me how it is for you in the comments. Then we can get a much bigger picture of what is going on with the energies and so forth. But there's a lot of clarity actually for me, and for my particular sign, I think as well for Capricorns. A lot of clarity sort of came into it. You would see that on the weekly readings that we got on the Thursday and the Friday. Thursday is earth and fire. Friday is water and air. We do the tarot readings there. But yeah, it seems like there was a real, I wouldn't say epiphanies, but not far off. Not far off. Epiphanies about multitudes of different sort of little and big sort of situations and stuff like that. And sometimes concentrating on the little things really helped, in order to sort of just keep going. Just keep going. Who was it? Dory out of thingy, just keep going, just keep going, just keep swimming. And it's a little bit like that. There is a sort of like sometimes you've just got to relax and go with the flow, as it were. So it's been sort of very good. We're going to be doing the energy updates. You'll be able to see everything that's going on with the sun and stuff like that. But for me, certain projects, personal and materialistic, it was a similar sort of thing. It's trying to get things, moving forward, as it were, on multitudes of different sort of areas on my personal and professional life. And sometimes it overboils, and that can be quite draining when that does that. So it's always good to recenter oneself, and I was trying to do that regularly during this week here. So that's what I felt what the energy was for me. There's so much traffic here, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so that's what it was like for me. So how was it for you? It'd be lovely to hear from you and hear what you've had an experience of this week here. We obviously got the energy update as well, where we'll be going into all the prana news about the energy of how it's being transferred from the sun to the earth to you, and so forth. But here we are with the energy here. Let's just get into feeling that energy at the moment. I was feeling it earlier on. There's a certain anticipation that's coming with the energy, and this is the general energy, the morphic field, as some might say, or the universal sort of vibration that's flowing through everything. It's just the general energy that's going on. It feels like there's a lot of anticipation. There's a lot of possibilities. within the world of energy at the moment, and it's, do we engage in those possibilities? And if we do engage in those possibilities, we have a great chance of trying to co-create a society that is conscious about the energy. Because when you do come conscious about the energy, you think about everything when you do something. You don't just think about yourself, you think about the trees, you think about other people, of course. You take that into account. But, don't forget, at the end of the day, you do have to follow your path. They're like, it's like taking advice. And it's like taking advice as well from your guides, if that's where your primary source is, being in connection with them. I have a different point of view on how guides work. Maybe we could do that on the Sunday live. Someone also talked about Tembeki as well. I think it was Chakra Visions as well. He said something about Tembeki. Maybe it'd be good as well to talk about ancient technology and how they used energy in the past. And using examples of pyramids and Tembekis and stuff like that. But we'll see. If you've got anything that you want to discuss on Sunday on the live that goes out at 9 o'clock on the UK time, just stick it in a comment. And, anything's open. Anything's open. It's always good to learn. So, yeah, there is a certain anticipation, possibilities. But with those possibilities, there is a certain sensation of, I wouldn't say, just sort of say, where is he? There he is. There's my mate. Just come over to say hello. It's Cody, of course. There isn't, with those possibilities, there's no certainty. There's no guarantees in life. The only guarantee in life is life itself. And that you can live life. And we only have a certain amount of time on this planet at one time. And, you've got to live it to your full capacity. Whatever you're living, doesn't matter. We all live different things. And I think once you start engaging in those possibilities, there is a certain excitement, a sort of feeling of butterflies and sensation. Again, yeah, come on, let's do it, sort of thing. And but at the same time, there's also the other side of the coin, which is, oh, what if it doesn't work? Oh no, risking a lot. And yeah, you have to balance those out. And I think that's what this week has all been about, really. And I can feel it within the energies. There's a certain trepidation. That's what I want to sort of say. Certain trepidation about it. Okay? Let's just... we're sat on the line here. I need to move my foot, actually. Let's just get into the chakra sequencing. There we go, it's connecting to it. It's flowing beautifully, the line at the moment. Here we come into the connection to the energies. There it is there, the central point that connects all our energies. It's like, if you imagine, it's a little bit like, at the fairgrounds you get bumper cars. And you get that rod that goes up to the mesh at the top, and then that rod goes right into the center of the bumper car, and that's what it's like here for the connection of the energies. Okay, it's got that. Just waiting for the sequence to go back through there. It was a very strong connection, and I think this is systematic in all areas. It's really, energy is, or nature as well, and the universal vibration is asking us to be more and more conscious about our connection to the general vibration. And becoming that gives us a little bit more sort of consciousness. Here it goes again. So there's the connection there. We go right up to the crown. The root is much lighter than the crown. The crown seems to be quite heavy, actually. The crown chakra, it's putting a lot of pressure on the mental side of things, and then that comes into the solar plexus. Solar plexus is like an itch that needs to be scratched. That's that anticipation. That's that, come on, let's do it, let's go. And then it moves slightly up towards the heart, and that's where we feel the trepidation. So there is a trepidation within the heart according to what we're going to do. There we go, we're up into the third eye. And the throat. The throat feels a lot lighter than the third eye. So the third eye is, it's almost like the third eye is be careful about thinking too hard about things. Usually, you know, sometimes the first answer or the obvious answer is the answer, sort of thing. And it's communication seems to be a moment of, that's where the energy is also playing into the chakras. There's the sacrum now, the sacrum coming in there. And it's very much on the right-hand side. Now this is fundamental desires about, I'll go into that in a minute because we've gone up to the solar plexus, and that's where the releasing of the air of the solar plexus. There you go. Releasing of the air of the solar plexus, better out than in. And there is this certain weight as well that we need to be wary of on the shoulders as it goes towards the crown and the root. The heart wants to shine, but the solar plexus is saying we've got to do. It's a real struggle between the heart and the solar plexus, and there we go, we're back into the original connection, going off on that. A lot of technical stuff this week on the chakras, it seems. Certainly with the solar plexus seems to be very, very demanding. There's a lot of let's get on and do. And sometimes, you know, we miss the finer nuances of life if we go without being conscious that is around us. And maybe this is where, you know, we have to learn to allow the heart to grow a little bit within the space that it's being given in accordance to the solar plexus, because that's putting a bit of pressure on it as well, because it's being pressured as well by the third eye. And that third eye was really, you know, just being very wary of looking for something that may not be there. And it may make you feel a little bit heavy loaded in this section here when you start doing it. So that's when you know how to pull out of it, and you can allow it just to flow into your heart, so you can sort of just enjoy and explore your heart's desires. Because I separate desires between the fundamental and the heart's desires, and the fundamental desires is the sacrum. Now the sacrum was playing on the right hand side of the sacrum, and I think this is all about fundamental desires of happiness, of enjoyment, of also well-being in your spirit, well-being within your energy, well-being within your physical body, and also well-being within what you're doing in the world, how it sits with you. And I've told, you know, and I've been saying, like, this year is the year of truths, and truths will come to the surface, and we have been seeing a lot of that in society. And we can see what is going into the world of human matrix, as it were. There may be a desire to go quicker than the music in multitudes of different areas. And the thing is, you know, you'll get caught out offside if you try to go faster than the music. And this is where I think there's that connection with that vibration that is around us, that unified energy that is around us is really important, because it brings us back out of bit dogmas and out of narrow thinking. and narrow hearts as well. It will allow us to experience more. And once we can start experiencing more, I think that's when we're going to get a lot more advances in technology and so forth. And so the sacrum, the right-hand side of the sacrum, is all about fundamental desires according to your pleasures in life, your engagement of pleasures, the fundamental things. It may be a case it's like, I need space, I need to breathe. Now, do you want to go to the mountain or do you want to go to the beach? You know, and that's the heart's desire. And I think this is where we need to cultivate that side as well, encourage it to bring it back to balance, as it were, because that's what the trees are doing here at the moment. As I said, the energy is much more in the crown. It's creating that fast vibration, and it's a case of osmosis where that energy is pulling up that sap, which is the electrical part of the tree, a bit like our blood in a way. So then it can do photosynthesis in for the summer season, where they convert, you know, that's the electrical component of the energy. So it does the consumption of carbon dioxide and it rejects the oxygen. And then with that carbon dioxide, they make the tree, you know, make the wood. So there's this whole process going on that we need to be in line with. And everyone wants to enjoy it. The trees here, certainly, they're all sort of kind of, I can feel the sap is rising. You know, it's like that. It's a bit like the Kundalini within us. Once you can feel that Kundalini within you, it's nurturing or feeding an aspect of your life. And, you know, it can be also an aspect that is blocked. But it could also be an aspect that is liberated. It depends on how you are engaging in it all. The more you can engage in it, the clearer it will be for you as an individual and for us as a collective. Let's just go into so that's what the chakra sequencing seems to be about. It seems to be, you know, it's getting rid of the mental within the stomach and actually getting on and doing, but just being very conscious about how we are in line with the rhythm of life as we go forward. Okay, so let's just see what's going on with the let's just get into the center of the earth and see a message for the center of the earth. So there we go, we're back on the connection on the line as well. The energy's picked up. I can see a lot more of the energy now, which is really beautiful. It's a pivoting point, obviously. There's the connection to the line. I'm just going to go back behind me there, just to that crossing point in that beautiful little chapel. And there's the vortex. Go down into the vortex to the center of the earth. Going down through the mantle, out of the mantle, in the space between the mantle and the inner plasma fields. And there we can see the inner plasma fields, the sphere. It's breathing, and this is a moment of true power within the earth at the moment. The sphere is really tight, really compact, beautiful, almost silver-like, iridescent sort of silver, like an oyster shell in a way. Let's just see what's going on. I want to have a look what's going on in the sphere. So I'm just going to follow the energy through. As I go round it, it sort of brings me into its orbit and then sort of drops me off into the... Okay. That portal is really working now. Is that there's administrators of the portals. It's no longer a spirit connected to... This is a bit like the Akashic libraries that I did. If you want to see it, I'll try and put it around my head at some point. The Akashic libraries, where you have administrators who are not bound to the physical world, because that is a world full of judgment. So they're not there to judge, they're there to administer. and it feels like there's a lot of administration going on, and they're sort of setting, it's like they're putting the portal into its full. They're building the motor. They're adding, they've got tiles. They're putting it in place, and those tiles create a frequency, it's like tuning a radio station. That's what it's like. It's doing. That's what it seems it's doing. They're all looking at me now. Can I just have a quick word? Just explaining that I'm a participant in the material world on the surface. Oh. They seem to be filing out now. Okay. I think I actually disturbed them. I'm not sure that, the administration was... They say you have control. I don't think it's me as an individual. I think it's us as control. So what they're doing is they've stopped work. There's someone trying to explain to me. Hang on a second. Someone explaining to me about the frequencies. It looks like a rodent coil, if you like. I'll get a photograph of the rodent coil. It looks like a rodent coil. So then, therefore, you get like curved frequencies that come out of it. And that's through a center sphere in the very middle that's got a very good consistency. And the sphere that I've just gone through, that plasma sphere to come to the portal, is like a fuse. It sort of absorbs the energies that are coming in from the prana through the sun and through the earth, so it doesn't create too much of a shock on the portal. I need to ask a question there. Is there any sense of overtaking of the earth, or changing of the guard, as it were? I'm not, I don't own the earth. It's not my, It's like the story, they're saying, is like the story is it's summing up. It's going to take time. It takes quite a bit of time to find the right frequencies and so forth. And they seem to be, testing it out to see which frequency corresponds to us on the surface. That's what it seems to be. Thank you very much. He says, I'm very welcome anytime I want, just don't get in the way. Or don't try and disturb them. Okay, I understand. No worries. Okay, let me just find, there's the way out. Okay, thanking you very much. Yeah, exactly. He said, do you not want a message? Or they just said, do you want a message? Because there's no sort of gender in that sort of respect, because they're not part of the physical world. Within the spectrum of frequencies, you have the frequency that corresponds to you. Align with that frequency and become you, that singular being in a collective. That's how we can make a beautiful tapestry of life. That's what it seems to be. It seems to be giving us the authority. Let me just step out of that. Thanking you very much. Yes, I'll see you soon. There you go, out onto the surface now. We're in the surface where we got the sphere and the interior plasma sphere. And if I look above, I've got the magma and the mantle. as it were. Okay, let me just get, I'm just laying on that earth there. It's giving me a lovely cuddle, which is beautiful. Very fiery energy, but not in a nasty fiery way, in a really, really good, it's a real passionate sort of saying, yeah, I think that's where that anticipation is coming from. Do you have a message for us from the energy? You have to be involved to have a voice. If you choose to just be part of the scenery, then you are a listener and not a speaker. For those who are speakers, make your voice be heard. For those who are listening, listen with intent. It's a sort of, you've got to be in it to create it, sort of scenario that's coming out of it. And it's really beautiful. It's like, I'm going to come up here because I want to explain this. I thank you very much. Pleasure to see you as well. Here comes that vortex round. Let's get that vortex back up into the crossing point and back down the line and back into the body. It's like, yeah, you've got to be in it to create it. And it's as if like the earth is, before she was looking after us. And it felt like a mother that was cuddling me, like Mother Earth. It was really nice, you know. Hi, Mum, just in case you're watching as well, but you know, it's my other mother. And it was as if they're sort of saying, the energy is sort of saying, we can agree on a lot of things and we can be in a line on a lot of things. And there's some things we will not be in alignment with. There are some things we would not agree with. But that does not take anything away from what we do agree with. And I think what we agree with is far stronger than what we don't agree with. And it's almost as if like the earth is sort of saying to the human collective, as much as the individual, have your say. It's okay, without any judgment or impediment. Have your say. I think that's what it was all about. And when you, it's like, you know, in the olden days when you used to just pass around the talking stick, you know, when you have the voice. And when you do not have the voice, then you should be a listener. And I think that's what that listening and talking was all about. And that's maybe where we need to practice that this week and help our, you know, our heart energy to start enjoying our connections that we have between one another in a very, very beautiful way. And there you go. Peace and blessings be with you. It's beautiful energy. Really do like it at the moment. So yeah, if you have enjoyed it, if I've you know, if you like this content, please do subscribe. Send us a comment as well. And if you want to talk about a particular subject on Sunday night, it'd be absolutely great. Don't forget about the readings we've got: Earth and Fire on Thursday, Water and Air on Friday. And we've got the energy update as well. I'm also thinking about, I want to have a conversation with the trees. I want to wait for a couple of days though, because they're obviously very concentrated on what's going on in regards to the rising of the sap, as it were. Certainly here, in this area here. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a conversation. I'll try and do that on Saturday. But anyway, whatever you're doing, it's lovely to see you. And thank you for being here. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.